from a marketing angle, how much can marketers use the Matildas? And can the Matildas be stretched across that many brands? This is the other thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, can this because the Matildas is a brand? Can that brand stretch itself across that many categories and still be effective, as in it's making money for the Commonwealth Bank, it's making money for Nike, it's making money for Rebel, far out, it's even making money for Cadbury, it's even selling some more chocolates for Cadbury. I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but is there too much pressure being put on this brand called the Matildas? You know what I mean? To kind of for marketers, is it too obvious? Is it too easy a thing for marketers to latch onto? And therefore, as a result, they become overexposed as a brand in terms of advertising, because they are still a football team.
There's another issue with the Matildas. Well, first of all, they are rating extremely well. So yes, in terms of ratings, television ratings, highest ratings in the last 12 months has been the Matildas game during the World Cup. Okay, that blew every other TV ratings out of the water. So they're rating extremely well. But the issue is with the Matildas is they don't play that often. You know, it's like it's one team.
That's what I was about to say.
And they play
that's right,
intermittently, right? As opposed to, say, a gargantuan, league like the NRL, where you've got a game on Thursday night, 2 games on Friday night, 3 games on Saturday, and 3 games on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you've got things like the State of Origin series, and you've got internationals as well. So in terms of the ability to put a product out there and have eyeballs looking at the games, looking at all of the sponsorship, imbibing advertising, and anything else that's commercially associated with that game, you've got an enormous number of touch points. Let's put it that way. Enormous number of touch points in terms of what is actually being produced and distributed to audiences.
If I could go back to our dear friends at the Ehrenberg Bass Institute with How Brands Grow, every marketer's favorite book. But they're accurate, right? What you've just described, Nick, is physical and mental availability. That's what they would say, right? They would look at look at soccer and say dispassionately, it's a product, right? Mental, physical availability. What you've described is a situation where the Matildas have a humongous mental availability, like awareness is super high, all that kind of stuff, right? But then you just said, however, I can't really consume that product more than 3 times a year, which means its physical availability is absolutely limited, right? Whereas the NRL, far out. I mean, that's got you've just described the distribution mechanisms for the NRL, and they are the equivalent of Coca-Cola in the world of beverages. Yeah, Coca-Cola has all the distribution muscle, the biggest distribution muscle in the world of beverages. And a lot of people say, even above and beyond our love for the product, that distribution, that physical availability keeps it king, right? So basically, you're describing the NRL as the Coca-Cola of distribution mechanism. So not only does the NRL have the mental availability, they've got the physical product there available for me to consume weekly, and marketing and advertising can therefore be attached to that daily. Actually, not even weekly. What you've described as a fan is a daily consumption of the product, almost like a drink, right? Almost like a drink. Whether it's a game, or whether it's a commentary, or whether it's a YouTube video of Ricky Stewart, or whether it's whatever, it becomes a daily consumption event, like a food and beverage. That's what brings it, And so whilst an organisation like the Matildas, and this is not just about the Matildas. This happened to men's soccer as well consistently. There's a huge build-up at the World Cup with the men's team, and everyone gets right on board, right? And all the commentators are saying, "This is it. This is this is when the grassroots start to swell in Australia," and they don't. Or they kind of have, but because again, I can't consume, because if soccer in Australia is about the Matildas and the Socceroos. It's 2 products, and we can only consume them 3 times a year each. Okay, and then we've got these peak consumption times at World Cups, right? Whereas the NRL is just so many products.